Tabokele and Gaston Sireno will both be unavailable against Magesi as they are suspended. The other players like Abo Dupree and Abo Tashik Morris, who we don't know whether they will be fit or not after they sustained some injuries at the weekend. We also saw Abo Happy Mashane not being available because of injuries that they sustained on games before that. But how will Nabi adapt to this and how will he select his starting lineup? Well, let's talk about it. Hello and welcome to Khosi Nation Fan TV. I am Bello, I'm your host, and this is where fans meet and talk about Kaizer Chiefs. Khosi Football Club. I just want to start by giving a shout out to Utulani Ndatiso. I met him at the mall, so he said he watches my videos all the time. So shout out to you. But I also want to say I have posted the reaction, the analysis rather, of the Mamelodi Sundowns versus Kaizer Chiefs game on the Cutback with Umpilo. So I'll link the video up here and I'll also link it in the end so that after I finish this video, you can go watch that video as well. So we cut back, I'll be posting every other video, the analysis of Chiefs, Pirates, Sundowns and everyone. So please do make sure to go there and subscribe. Now, let's talk about the starting 11 because as you will find out in the analysis that I made for that game, Nabi shows that he always has a plan. But what will his plan be given the fact that Magesi will be sitting and waiting to hit Chiefs on a counter as they did when we played them in Polokwane? We start with the goalkeeper. Prosip Vuma is still going to be there. Of course, he's still going to be there. Right back, it's going to be Frosler. And Frosler, you know, he's becoming slightly consistent, I would say, because I won't say he's now fully consistent. He has had a few games where he's been giving us everything that we expect from him. But in a game like Magesi, I think it's a type of game where he will shine even more. Which brings us to left back. Guys, I don't think we've talked enough about how good Edmilson Dove is when it comes to since he returned from injury. Like, the guy has not been available since September, and I was crossing my fingers. I'm like, please do not get injured again, because he has this tendency. I remember in Sundowns the last year, I think he had gotten injured, then he came back to play against Sekukun, and then he got injured again. I'm like, oh man. So I was so happy with his performance against the Sundowns as well. I'm not going to give too much away because there's a video for that. So I think that he's going back and he's going to be starting in that left back position. Which brings us to a centre back pairing. I have a problem. I'm becoming increasingly frustrated with our centre back pairing. And Umsimango should not give up because he can take the jersey from one of those two, because at this point, go watch the analysis video who cut back, because I showed very well the communication. It lacks so much. But this is their chance once again to try and prove themselves that they are worthy to be a partnership, because sometimes players is not because they are horrible as an individual, but when they are mixed with someone, they just can't play together. I don't think Umikwel is a bad player. I don't think Utotli is a bad player, but their combination is not giving. That's my biggest problem. But we move and we go to midfield because they're still going to stay there. So Cele is unavailable, and that is a big issue for me. But I think that Umar will stay and play as a 6. And by the way, in the post-match analysis video, I mentioned that I wasn't happy with Mart's performance from the game against Sundowns. And I saw people saying, oh, but Mart played very well, solid defensively. But the problem is, if you have Mart and you have Tabokele wants the ball and he wants someone as Odlala na swing. So if Mart is not doing the same, we're not going to progress the ball as much as we want. So it wasn't oh, he sucked and he just didn't perform. It was, we had the ball a lot of times, and we needed someone just as good as Ucele in trying to progress the ball forward. So that was my biggest issue with him. But I still think that he will start the game and he will play as a 6. But the second person next to him who will be given an opportunity, it increasingly looks like it's going to be Njabulo Blom, because you remember towards the end of that game that we played against Sundowns, I thought Matlo was going to come on for Ucele, but it was actually Ublom. And I think that Unabi wanted to play them together because yes, Uplom is still a good player and he could give us something in that game, but he also wanted to see how they can combine together for the game against Magesi, since Ucele was already confirmed to be suspended for this game. He could surprise us though, because we're playing against Magesi and just bring on George Matlo, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think this is a good time for Plom as well to come in and show what he can do for the team, which brings us to a number 10. And obviously, Umtu Shabalala is going to play in that position. And since he got injured, I'm not going to lie, he's not been them two who started the season. He's still okay, but he's not as good as he was beginning of the season. And that has given ammunition to people to say, oh, Wingane and this and that. But I'm not going to bash the kid for that because he got injured. Can we just give him a break? And also, we're trying to reach 50,000 subscribers by the end of March. So could you just please tap that subscribe button so that we can get there by the end of this month? Danko. Now, let's go to the left wing. Pulemodi played exceptionally well in the game against Sundowns. So was a left wing back, a winger at the same time, and he was just giving Sundowns trouble when we had to counter press or even press. Forget pressing after losing the ball. I'm talking about even just pressing because we had to get the ball back from Sundowns. He was very good. He was exceptional. And I hope for the life of me, the man is working on his finishing. Because if he doesn't work on his finishing, sooner or later, someone else, end of the season, Chiefs might go out and get someone who can finish. And then it doesn't matter how much trouble and how much you hustle the defenders. It's never going to matter if you're not scoring your chances now, is it? No, it's not going to matter. So I hope that for all the performances that he's putting out there, Pulemodi, he can now start solidifying them by scoring the goals, which are the things that we do need. Now, which brings us to the right winger, because I'm going to end with the striker. Right winger, there's a conversation that needs to be had, because against a team like Magesi, who would be sitting back, that means we don't need that much pace from a winger. We just need brains, because Ulilepo can still play in that position. The reason why I'm bringing this up before I talk about the number 9 is because with Morris not being available, with Dupree not being available, it makes you wonder who's going to start as a striker, because Uranga, I think it's also better if he starts at this point, because if he comes on after the interval or 60th minute, fans boo him. It's stupid. It's just crazy. Like, if the coach has decided that I'm playing Ranga, why are you still booing him? Yeah, well, I understand if you're booing someone because they missed a chance. It's still stupid. But I understand that more better than you booing someone while they are being brought on. What impact is it going to have? Is the coach going to say, oh, wow, look at the fans. The ones who half of them are drunk. They are saying that I shouldn't play this guy. Let me sit him down. It's not going to happen. You get me? So I do think that Ulilepo, because these guys will be sitting back and Frosla will be making runs around him, that he still starts as a winger. And with no options to start anyone else as a number 9. And with us going to play against a team that's going to be sitting back most likely, then you don't have any other choice. Utuba is also injured, but to play Uranga as a 9. There is an alternative though. And that alternative would see Ulilepo actually playing as a number 9. And it could actually see, hold on to your heads, Usolomon's playing as a winger. It could happen, might not happen, because Usolomon's, remember, he's also very good at going up and down that wing. And he actually did play as a winger at Swallows. But for some of you who don't want that to happen because you feel like Usolomon's is a right back, then it could still be possible that Chiefs would actually bring on someone like Upotsane to start as a right winger. There's still a possibility that Umtu Shabalala could be moved to being a right winger, or Modi could be moved to right winger, and then Umtu Shabalala left winger, then Umatlo as a 10. There are a lot of things that could happen, but for the sake of consistency, I think Umodi still starts on the left, Lilepo on the right, and then Uranga through the middle. But what do you guys think will happen? Who do you see starting, and how many goals is Kaizer Chiefs going to score to beat and destroy Magesi? People said I shouldn't say destroy, because when I say destroy, we lose all the time. Not this time around. We are going to destroy Magesi. And after you finish watching this video, check this one out, where I analyze what went wrong when Kaizer Chiefs lost against Sundowns and what actually went right. Go check it out and subscribe to the cutback as well. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, remember, equals al pelumoy.